Amanda from paperboutique.blogspot.com. One of the hottest trends is using buttons on your cards and pages. Today I thought it would be fun to show you a couple of cards made with buttons and then talk about a few different ways to decorate and use buttons. Well, we'll be making this card today, but I just wanted to quickly show it to you and then we'll come back to it. But I want to show you some cute ideas using buttons first. One of the things I like to do with buttons is to go ahead and use them to decorate the inside of my rosettes. In this particular case, I layered two buttons on top of each other, and I'm always using glue dots. Every project that I've done today, I use glue dots on my buttons. So I wanted to show you this technique. Then I also want to show you a fun technique using rub-ons. And all I did is go ahead, and these were just both flat buttons. I just went ahead and did a rub-on here, and then I did a rub-on here as well, and topped it with a rhinestone. And I had this big button from my stash, and look how cute it would be just to go ahead and layer the buttons. I just really love that look. And here's another example of just a real quick, little layered button. When I'm actually using buttons, sometimes I like to use, let's see, where is it? I like to use embroidery floss to fill in the button. Sometimes I just leave them blank, as on the project we're going to do today, I left it not filled in. Sometimes I also use baker's twine, but I found this technique and I can't remember where I read about it, and it works really well. If you're out of, and this is just Martha Stewart's twine, or if you're out of embroidery thread or any type of other thread, what you do is take a piece, and believe it or not, this is just tissue paper. You'll go ahead and take a piece of tissue paper and just roll it super, super thin and tie it. And it becomes remarkably durable, and that's nothing more than just plain old colored tissue paper. Another use for buttons involves decorating canisters, and I think most of you have seen this canister I made. This stores my Cuttlebug folders, but I just wanted to show you the versatility of buttons. And for this entire project, I just used glue dots. If it was going to get a lot of heavy duty wear, you may want to use a glue gun, but for most things, I think glue dots are just perfect. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the birthday card that I made today, and it's just super simple. This was inspired from a card in Paper Crafts magazine, and it's really easy to make. All it is the background card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just cut, and then the next layer is 4 by 5 inches, and then I just punched it using, I think it wasn't a Martha, it was a Fiskars punch. Well, you thought it might have been a Martha Stewart one, but it wasn't. Then the blue layer is 3 5/8 by 4 inches, and it's just rounded corners. And so before I attached this layer, I went ahead and tied it with ribbon. I didn't tie the bow. What I did is I put down just a plain flat piece of ribbon and then tied the bow and tied it on top, just to make it look a little more polished. The tree is from Cindy Lou, and I love that cartridge. I just think it's so cute, and it's cut at 3 3/4 inches. And the tree trunk is, I just wanted to show you the technique. I don't know if you can see how dark that is, or there's lines, kind of a swirl on it. What I did to get that effect is I used a swirl stamp and Versamark. It's just a watermark stamp pad. Oh, I got a cat hair on it. We have 2 black cats, so unfortunately I find cat hairs everywhere. But anyway, if you use this on your stamp, it'll give you almost this kind of watermark effect. So that's how I did that. And then I just used Photoshop to do the sentiment, and it measures 1/2 by 2 inches. It was a super, super easy card. Now I want to talk just briefly about this card, and this is a much bigger card, but I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'll have detailed directions on this card on my blog on Friday, but it's just a cute way to use buttons on the card. Well, I'd like to share with you now the new issue of cards. This is the March 2011 issue. I don't know if any of you subscribe to this magazine, but I love it. And each month they really feature a new trend or an old trend that's new again. And this month they talk about, I think you can see, have fun with buttons. And I just want to show you a few pages from this magazine too to give you some ideas, more ideas with buttons. And I love this card. Isn't that cute? I can remove my blue sticky tab here. Just using buttons on the bottom of the card, which I think is just a great idea. And then here's an idea for, like I used on my card, I used buttons for apples, and here it's just used for like a little flower on the tree. And I like this idea because there's brads and then there's a button for the center of the butterfly and also for centers of the flowers. And as you can tell, sometimes people will put twine in, you know, sew the button, and other times they'll just leave it plain. And then this one's one of my favorite cards. I like what they did, and they just stamped flowers here and put buttons in the center, which I thought was so cute. I hope you can see. I hope the glare isn't too much on that. And then here's a cute one, buttons for the butterfly. Oh, and one of the techniques I didn't talk about is you can actually take your twine or your embroidery thread or whatever you want to use and tie a bow, which is also a cute look with buttons. And this particular look is just a rhinestone over a regular button, and what I did on mine is I did a rub-on and then a rhinestone, but it's just kind of fun. And here's one just taking advantage of a circle stamp, and I really like the button card here. And this bright orange one, just, you know, using buttons as accents or a center for a flower. I'm going to put that down. I'm not sure you could see that. And then this one is just super simple, but what I like about this is it's using the smaller rhinestones to cover up the hole in the button, and here using 3 more to, you know, pick up that accent, and then using 4 for the center. Just a cute look. And we're almost finished with the buttons that are, or the cards that are featured, and here's just another accent. This is one of my favorites, and it says that this particular one, this button card, is from Jenny Boland Studio. And I wish we had them here. I would go buy one and make this particular card. I might go to Joann's and pick up a button card and see if I could kind of replicate this idea. I thought it might be kind of fun. And once again, they're using it for the center of a flower and just a little accent. And this may be one of my favorite cards. I just adore the colors. And they didn't do it to, you know, everything wasn't really matchy-matchy. One is, you know, tied one way and the other is a little bit different. So it just gives a really nice look. And that's the last of that category. And then it'll go on to a section, Cards for Men. I highly recommend this magazine and use it a lot. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching. And please visit my blog at paperboutique.blogspot.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.